Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dr. Ambedkar International Center, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, I welcome you all at DIC on the occasion of week-long celebration of International Women's Day. Baba Sahab B.R. Ambedkar once said, I measure the progress of community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. As a student in London, young Ambedkar was highly influenced by the civil liberties and women emancipation movement in the West. As the first law minister of the independent India and the chairman of the Constitution Drafting Committee, Ambedkar held positions which influenced the legislative framework of the country. Dr. Ambedkar created awareness among the poor, illiterate women and inspired them to fight against the unjust and social practices like child marriage and Devdasi system. Dr. Ambedkar always pushed for inclusion of women right in the political vocabulary and the Constitution of India. The empowerment and autonomy of the women and the improvement of their political, social, economic, and health status is a highly important end in itself. To have such a worldview in the early 20th century, when the country was going through a grave political turmoil, speaks volume about the vision of Dr. Ambedkar. He envisaged an India where rights were universal and exclusive of women. Through his efforts, now we see women rising and doing very, very well in almost all the fields, all the professional fields. Women of today choose the right career path and determine their future, and thus we see them excelling in every walk of life. Today, we have invited women academicians to speak about their work and discuss the role of gender from a different perspective. The roundtable will examine if the women's economic empowerment is central to realizing women's right and gender equality. Now I request Dr. Sunil Kumarji to come up to the dais and introduce the panel, please. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Very good evening, everyone here. And thank you for joining us today. On the third day of conversation on the theme, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Contribution to Women Empowerment, with the inspiring women panelists who have come from various walks of life. Once again, I welcome you all for being with us to celebrate International Women's Day in our beautiful venue at DIC and Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. It is my proud privilege to welcome all eminent women panelists of various institutions who have come here to share their knowledge and vast experience with us today. Our first woman panelist is Professor Mary E. John, Acting Director of the Center for Women Development Studies, New Delhi. She was Director of the Center from 2006 to 2012, prior to Deputy Director of Women Studies Program at JNU. She has various number of publications to her credit on the issues pertaining to women and feminism. Her latest publications are Women in the Worlds of Labor, Interdisciplinary and Intersectional Perspective, co-edited with Meena Gopal, published by Orient Black Swan. And her second latest book is Child Marriage in an International Frame, a Feminist Review from India, published by Routledge. She had co-chaired the UGC task force that has resulted into Saksham report on gender sensitization, sexual harassment, and freedom for women in Indian campuses. Now I request to our director, Colonel Vikas Trivedi ji and Ms. Vidushi ji to felicitate our guests, please. Right. Thank you, sir. Our next panelist is Professor Shohini Ghosh, Officiating Director and Sajjad Zahir Professor at the AJK Mass Communication Center, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. She is the director of Tales of the Night Fairies 2002, a documentary about the sex worker rights movement in Calcutta, and the author of Fire, a Queer Classics in 2010, published by Arsenal Pulp Press, Vancouver, Orient Publishing in 2011, New Delhi. Professor Ghosh has been a visiting professor in a number of universities within and outside India, and has had a long association with CREA Sexuality, Gender and Rights program. Professor Ghosh writes on contemporary media, speech and censorship, popular media, documentary, and issues of gender and sexuality. Now, I again request to our director, Colonel Vikas Trivedi ji and Vidushi ji, to felicitate our guest, please. Our next panelist is Professor Mangla Kohli, Director and Head, Department of Anatomy at Vardhman Mahavir Medical College and Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi. She has worked as the ex-Assistant Director General Medical Education and Director General Health Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. She has gathered extensive experience during teaching, mentoring, and administration at various positions for over 35 years, and have performed additional responsibilities such as Assistant Director General Medical Education, Assistant Director General Physical, Medical and Rehabilitation, and Paramedical Sciences, which have led to her broad understanding of the issues and challenges triggered by Indian medical education system, its fraternity, educational institutes, and professional. Again, I request to Director Vikas Trivedi ji and Vidushi ji to felicitate our guest, please. In the series of panelists, our next panelist is Dr. Manaswini Yogi, Associate Professor, University of Delhi. Holds a PhD degree in philosophy, certificate course in print journalism from Symbiosis in 2006, Master in Journalism and Mass Communication from Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University in 2011, and having certificate course in cyber laws from Indian Law Institute in the year 2012. Her area of specializations are Indian philosophy, applied ethics, aesthetics, media ethics, and laws and advertising. Once again, I request Director Colonel Vikas Trivedi ji and Vidushi ji to facilitate our guests, please. And our fifth panelist is Professor Kusum Yadulal. Dr. Kusum Yadulal, श्री लाल बहादुर शास्त्री राष्ट्रीय संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालय के शिक्षा विभाग में प्रोफेसर के पद पर कार्यरत हैं। इन्होंने दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के शिक्षा शास्त्र विभाग से एमफिल एंड पीएचडी की उपाधि प्राप्त की है। पीएचडी की शोध का विषय था माध्यमिक एवं उच्चतर माध्यमिक शिक्षा संस्थाओं में अध्ययनरत अनुसूचित जाति एवं जनजाति की छात्राओं की मनोवैज्ञानिक एवं शैक्षिक समस्याओं का अध्ययन। शोध कार्यों का प्रकाशन पुस्तक के रूप में दलित शिक्षा का परिदृश्य 2006 में किया गया। इनकी विशेषज्ञता का क्षेत्र है शिक्षा में निर्देशन एवं परामर्श, शैक्षिक प्रबंधन, सृजनात्मकता एवं विकास, महिला शिक्षा। इनकी चिंतन शैली में महिलाओं, विशेषकर वंचित एवं दलित वर्ग की महिलाओं, बालिकाओं की शिक्षा की विभिन्न समस्याएं, समाधान एवं उत्थान हेतु समतामूलक विचारों के विशिष्ट योगदानों का उल्लेख समाहित है। Now I request again our director and Vidushi ji to felicitate our guest. With this introduction of the panelists, I request Ms. Vidushi to start the proceedings of the program, please.
Ji sir. I would request all the panelists to please come on stage and take their seats. Please, ma'am. Every day should be celebrated as Women's Day. However, to honor their achievements, the UN announced 8th of March as the International Women's Day. Also, it is the day to acknowledge their courage of breaking the rigid stereotypes and coming out as strong, powerful women. DAIC believes that International Women's Day is a time to reflect on progress made and to call for change and to celebrate acts of courage and determination by ordinary women who have played an extraordinary role in the history of the countries and communities. The empowerment of women is a great responsibility that all women need. The world becomes a better place when women don't feel the hardship to exist. For many years, women have faced several difficulties. For Indian women's movement, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar provides a powerful source of inspiration to formulate a feminist political agenda which simultaneously addresses the issues of class, caste, and gender in the contemporary socio-political setup. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar saw women as the victim of oppressive caste-based and rigid hierarchical social system, which is why he wanted women to have higher participation in all walks of life. Even as a legislator under the colonial regime, Dr. Ambedkar was one of the first activists to root for the rights of working women. At each step, Dr. Ambedkar challenged the deep-rooted patriarchal foundation of Indian society and helped in drafting a constitution which has stood the test of time. I would like to emphasize that in keeping with the spirit of Ambedkar's vision, DAIC believes that women have the power to create, nurture, and transform, and the women are the engines of enriching society. Today's discussion is dedicated to the contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on women empowerment and honoring the achievements of women by identifying, celebrating, and increasing visibility of women's achievement can help forge equality and to celebrate women-led development initiatives. I would like to thank all the and everyone here on the panel to be a part of this discussion here. And I am impressed by all the work that you have done in these many years. The first question that I would like to ask all of you that as a working woman and as an academician, what has been your journey as an individual? I would like you to tell us about what your journey has been and how has it been difficult or easy as an academician to be here? Let's begin with Shohini ma'am.
So this is not nepotism, I hope, since she was my student in Jamia. So, well, I was also a student of the same institute where I now teach and from where Vidushi has also graduated. And it was quite an extraordinary institution at that time because it was a mass communication center. But mostly when we say mass communication center, people think that it is about theoretical studies of mass communication, but it was actually a filmmaking course. And you can imagine that we are talking about the mid-80s when I was a student. And here are all these women studying with men, not just studying any theoretical subject, but also learning to do the camera, to go on location shooting, to do sound recording, to do all the things that have been traditionally the tasks of men. And many of us, because our center was also a center for UGC educational programs, because UGC played a very major part in setting up our center. And many of the students, after we graduated, we did a lot of that educational programming. So because, in our course, we had learned how to do the camera and editing and all that, one of my colleagues who still teaches in the center and was also my batchmate, Sabina Gaddyhook, she said that, look, for my educational films, I'm going to do my own camera. And immediately, there was a rebellion in the ranks of all the men, in the men camera people, or the camera men. They said that, she's of course, they couldn't quite say to our founder, Anwar Jamal Kidwai, who was, extremely, progressive, couldn't tell him that, oh, we don't want her because she's a woman. But he says, she's just been a student and, God knows what kind of camera work she'll do. She will ruin the films and it'll be such a disgrace for us. And had it not been serious, we would have laughed about it at that time. But, our founder was very good about it. He just quelled that rebellion, so it didn't go anywhere. And then this would happen often because she was a camera person, but nobody would take her. Because they'd say, oh, we really like the camera work that you do. And then Mr. Kidwai would say, oh, but then why don't you take her for the next shooting? They said, problem to ye hai na ki hum aap kahan rahenge, aapke liye safe nahi hai. देखिए जो लड़के होते हैं वो तो कमरे शेयर करके भी रह लेंगे आपके लिए अलग वो करना पड़ेगा. So it was almost like all kinds of excuses and coming from completely progressive people, progressive media people. And anyway, but over a period of time, I think just having women teach these things, like a new batch of people come and they see women engineers, they see women camera people, they see women sound recordists, and they see women do all that. It has a completely different bearing on it. Within the next 10 years, we had our graduates who were women and were working as camera people in all kinds of places. So over the years, and of course, I am an academic, but I also belong to a practice-based institution. So while we do MPhils and PhDs, even now, and at that time we had only one course, now we have many courses. We have one on journalism, animation, development communication, etc. But most of our courses are practice-based. So we also we are one of the pioneering institutions to offer a practice-based PhD. So it is very interesting to see that our students over the last 30 years that I have taught, that they have not, they have stormed all the male bastions. They are now women who are doing camera, they are doing editing. And we used to have teachers who would say, who would tell the women that, आपको editing ही लेना चाहिए. देखिए, editing आप एक कमरे में बैठ के कर पाएंगे आप. आप camera करेंगे तो इधर उधर भागना पड़ेगा. So, even teachers, now, it's unthinkable that any teacher should give that kind of advice to any student. So over a period of time, we have seen that kind of, change take place, which is wonderful. This is not to say that sexism and misogyny don't exist. They do, and hopefully we will talk about that. But somehow it has, even sexism and misogyny has gone to the next generation. So it manifests itself in a probably more devious way, not in such a, in an overt way. So it's very satisfying to see all our students break these kinds of bastions, be in different kinds of places, and also making academic interventions, even in the field of studies. Writing books, doing archival work, doing the kind of research. So in both practice and scholarship, making a mark, and of course, and then contributing to this international, kind of growth of people that we call scholar practitioners. So I'll end with that.
My next question is from you, ma'am, because in this panel you are from the medical line, and you have seen, like, rest of the professors, they have been into academics only, but you have, from the being a doctor, you have come into academics and you teach anatomy. What have been the roadblocks, and what have been your journey as a doctor to an academician?
रोड जर्नी यू वांट टू नो
Ma'am, as a woman, आपको
ओके
कैसा रहा है?
good evening everyone. Let me introduce you. I'm Dr. Mangla Kohli and Director Professor and ex-HOD from Anatomy Department, Vardhaman Mahavir Medical College. And I was in ministry for almost, I think, 7 to 8 years. I was attached there in the ministry. And when I went to ministry, I joined, of course, I got married very early. I was in practice, my children were young, so I was going and coming, doing internship with my children, doing PG ship. And, they are bringing up them also because my husband has always been a businessman. So, ठीक है, then I joined my job in 2000, very one. It's late. Before that, I was a practitioner and I had a very good laboratory and I had a very good, because when I told my husband I want to do practice, he says, "ठीक है, establish करो." So there is God grace, we have no dearth of things, establishing the things. So I was running a very good laboratory and 2-3 places I had attachments and doing very good GP, and I think almost every day I used to see 135 patients. And people also used to take my 10-12 patient तो ऐसे ही मुफ्त में ले जाते थे. So I was very satisfied with that. Then I decided, when my child, passed out, my elder child, she passed out 12th. Before that I decided, now I'll do something. UPSC. तब मैंने UPSC की interview दिया और I was selected. Then I said, let me take it. Before that, when my younger child was born, I started my MS also. I did with MS with him. So it was my journey was very loving, very nicely, very busy. Every time is running, only running. When I joined my job, so ठीक है, I was very happy. But when I got a call from ministry, I said, yes, I'll join. So I'm little tough in that. So when I took up that position as Assistant Director General Medical Education, I said, now let me see what exactly the things are, how this All India quota established, how the things are going on, when it was established, what kind of admission they are giving, how many seats are there, how many medical colleges are there. I started implementing the knowledge of my anatomy, that is embryology, how the, anatomy, how the babies form in the womb. That is our embryology. At the time of conception, since before the birth. है ना? So from the conception to birth, we have the embryology subject, we teach them. I said, let me do, and let me see the applied anatomy. So what can I do? I have really chalked out all my files and all. Then I started thinking that it is lot of court cases are there. People are not getting admissions. People from Bihar, Jammu, they are getting admission in Chennai. People from Chennai, they are getting admission in Jammu. So many problems. And some seats where there are a lot of people will also, suiciding. Girls, especially girl child or even young boys also, they used to suicide because of not getting admission in the medical college. Then I saw 1, 2, 3 years, or 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 years I really saw कि क्या होना क्या है. So 2009, I decided, let me think. When one child was crying, she says, "Ma'am, मेरे को ये लोगों ने मेरे सारे सर्टिफिकेट खो गए, मेरे ये लोग मुझे अंदर नहीं आने दे रहे, इतनी धूप में मई जून में भैया बच्चा जा रहा है अपनी एडमिशन लेने, यहाँ बिहार से बच्चा एडमिशन लेने जा रहा है, सो मुझे एडमिशन नहीं मिल रही है, ये नहीं." आई सेड यू कम हियर फास्ट. I literally used to talk to the college people individually for every child. Please दे दो इसको admission, इसका ये date निकल गई, ma'am she has to go to court, ये date निकल गई, she is so supposed to join on this day, because there is a time schedule. We have to go according to time schedule, and some classes start, so then when the time is gone, then you cannot join. So out of protocol you cannot go. I said you come here. I said you file. I called some my lawyer. Every time I used to sit there, so every day there was a court case. I used to go in the high court, Supreme Court every day. So I called somebody. I said, "इसका फाइल करो आप, पेमेंट मैं करूँगी." कहते नहीं डॉक्टर साहब आपने बोल दिया फाइन है. मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, आप भी खो मैं भी है खड़े, फाइल करें. उससे उसकी पेरेंट्स ने, सिमरन जैन वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, मैंने कहा तुम फाइल करो, मैं सब इसमें आया. देन आई फाइल्ड आई इनटू दैट. I said no, single window होगा, कोई no chance of appearing for 50 exams for MBBS level and 25 exams for MDMS level. No chance. There is a first round of counseling, second round of counseling. People are shuttling from here to there, and there's lot of chaos matching, because everybody wanted to make a money out of these seats, because they know कि medical seat is very expensive and it's problematic. So everybody wanted to make a money. There's a pimps where they're running rackets and all. I said chalo file karo. And then I filed a case in Supreme Court, and from 2009, I think February, May, April, May we file it, and then we got a order from the in 2011. So my job was start from morning till 7 o'clock, sit in the Gopal Subramanian's office, 9:30 go to Supreme Court, 12:30 go to High Court, come back to your seat, and by 8:30, 9 o'clock leave the office. Because that time my children were in USA, they were studying, so every work was done on my phone, and my husband was waiting aram se for because he has no compulsion that he has to come home fast. I never kept him compulsion कि भाई तुमको जल्दी पहुंचना है, कुछ नहीं. So this how we got it, and then we got it implemented into PG also. We got an application made then through MCI, because that is a regulating body which can implement. So I've done, it was a very good journey. I've done a lot of work for paramedics in the country, PMR, upgradation of their work. Now, as far as ladies concerned, I really thought of it. I want, because the ITI sector has not been, touched by anybody. ITI sector. So I really thought कि ladies, why ladies cannot go into that. So देखो, I registered some company. I told my son to register the company, because I want to bring this cadre up. And because when my child is in USA, she's settled there from last 15 years, she's there. So when I go, all the people, they come in very big truck. They have a big ladder and all. They go hydraulic ladder, everything they carry with the truck. And ladies, they don't come. I said, why ladies are not there? I used to ask them, because ladies are doing only work in the nursing assistant, so they are been of course registered, but they are doing work as per hour. So I really thought कि why ladies can do everything, because when they are in the police, when they are in the guard, so they can do this. So I really thought of it. So let's hope what can be done. Anyhow, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yogi ma'am, I want to ask you something, because you are from a college for women, IP College, Indraprastha College for Women, Delhi University, and I have been there as well. So, ma'am, in your journey, and now you are working with the Department of Journalism. So you have seen women, like I have also seen young women take admission in IP College or any college, and they are mostly married off in the first 3 years of graduation only, or as soon as they graduate, they get married. And I feel that out of the 100% women who are getting into colleges, only a very limited number gets into the working community. Like, they start working or they join their father's businesses. Very limited number is there. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has, always said that, women need to progress, women need to educate. And it is a very good thing that at least parents are, putting their girls into education. But I have also felt that, having a degree has become like a matrimony proposal, that now my daughter is eligible for marriage. What do you have to say about that, ma'am?
Well, I'm Manaswini Yogi. I wanted everybody to know what M stands for. I'm Manaswini Yogi, and I have taught all my life in a girls' college. For 40 years, I taught in IP. I'm a student of IP. I did philosophy honors, MA, MPhil, PhD. Then in 98, we started mass media course, and I'm the founding member of that. At that time, nobody in our batch or in our college knew what journalism is. We had no experience, but a proposal came from the UGC, and we started the course, and I was very young at that time, and I jumped to the idea with our late principal, Dr. Aruna Sitesh, that yes, we should start. I was a debater and other things I used to do, but journalism was not our field. And we started. And I learned a lot while even starting the course, running from here and there, and getting the course, getting the syllabus, and then the studio. So we started, and 20 years I was the coordinator, and then in 2017 I was invited by the Vice Chancellor, University of Delhi, to start another course in Delhi University, where even boys would study. So now I am the OSD of Delhi School of Journalism in Delhi University. So what you are saying, I don't agree. The scene has changed. It is not that very few are going into work or, a working field. Rather, very few are getting married now. Yeah, this is my experience in last at least 15, 20 years. Initially, what you said was true. But yes, for some, even today, BA degree is a matrimonial, permission that now you are ready for marriage. But as far as my journalism students are concerned, I have seen in 20 years when I was working there and looking after the department, our girls have excelled. And what Shoni was saying, that the problems they had with, the men counterpart, we did not face that. Because we had no men in our college. And the students had no competition with men. But then, when our first batch graduated, it was a proud moment to see our girls doing camera work individually, first with some senior, and then individually. And to name the few, there is Nusrat Jafri, there is, forgetting the name, I think Nidhi. They are doing camera work individually. I mean, they've done camera work for Film Black. They've done, she was working for initially with K. Ravindran, then now individually. So they're doing camera, they're doing editing. They did get married after some time, after working independently in the field of journalism. And many of them are all over the place, in India as well as abroad, in television. Devina Gupta is in BBC World News. She's anchor, correspondent. Shivani Gupta is in Republic, anchoring, correspondent. And they're still not married. They're still not married. So, and even in philosophy, if you see that, because I was looking after mass media, but I was basically also teaching philosophy. So, scene has changed. Now, even, a girl coming from a, say, a modest family wants to work. Rather, they contradict their parents. And this is what I used to tell them in class also. That you don't have to just get married after BA, you stand on your feet. Because that is what I was taught by my parents. Because he was an academician in St. Stephen's, and he said, you apne पैरों पे खड़े होइए. And that is what 3 of us did. We all became lecturers. So we used to promote that, and our students started changing, and they used to fight with their parents कि अभी शादी नहीं करना है, we want to first work and then get married of our own choice. Scene has completely changed. Some are still there, some conservative families where parents want them to get married. I've been to doing even counseling of the parents कि please शादी मत करिए. पहले उसको पढ़ने दीजिए, कुछ बनने दीजिए, and then you put them in that. Because whole life, उसके बाद तो फिर शादी के बाद everybody cannot go out and do work. So I think the scene has changed. So you can't say कि same thing is there. Thank you.
मैम आपसे मैं पूछना चाहूँगी कि व्हेन अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं फिल्म मेकिंग की, जर्नलिज्म की, डॉक्टरी की, तो यहाँ ये एक तरीके से प्रोफेशनल कोर्स हो गए जहाँ आप जा ही रहे हैं कि एक आइडिया से कि हमें इस प्रोफेशन में जाना है, बट बाकी आप एजुकेशन की प्रोफेसर हैं, बाकी जो हैं जैसे हमारा और भी बाकी सब्जेक्ट है, हिस्ट्री है, जोग्राफी है, उसमें भी उसमें आपके हिसाब से इन 70 सालों में आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आने के बाद जब विमेन को राइट मिला है काम करने का, पढ़ने का, उसमें क्या चेंज रहा है, क्या चेंज आया है? क्या आपको लगता है कि विमेन थोड़ा प्रोग्रेस करा है उन्होंने, कि वो आगे बढ़ी हैं एजुकेशन की वजह से?
सभी को नमस्कार। मैं कुसुम यदुलाल सभी को महिला दिवस की सबसे पहले शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ और अंबेडकर सेंटर को बधाई देती हूँ कि इतना अच्छा प्रोग्राम किया और हम सभी को बुलाया और मंच साझा किया। मैं एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट में हूँ और जैसा कि विदुषी ने मुझसे सवाल पूछा है कि इन 70 सालों में क्या चेंजेस आया है, तो मैं सबसे पहले ये बताऊंगी कि क्योंकि हम लोग मॉडर्न और ट्रेडिशनल दोनों थीम से पढ़ाते हैं हम लोग। मैं संस्कृत विद्यापीठ में हूँ, तो वहाँ पर क्या है, बहुत ग्रामीण लेवल से महिलाएं आती हैं और वहाँ पर जैसे मैं ट्रेनिंग कॉलेज में बीएड डिपार्टमेंट में हूँ, तो जैसे कि मैंने भी पढ़ाई की या महिलाओं के साथ देखा, तो मेरा एक सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर हमेशा उनके साथ रहता है। ट्रेनिंग्स में आती हैं, सुबह टीचिंग ट्रेनिंग में उन्हें सुबह अर्ली मॉर्निंग आना पड़ता है। तो महिलाएं जो लड़कियां हैं, शादीशुदा हैं, अक्सर क्या होता है हमारे यहाँ एक कंसेप्ट होता है लड़कियों को कि अरे तुम डॉक्टर क्या बनोगी, इंजीनियर क्या बनोगी, टीचर बन जाओ, कोई जॉब नहीं है तो टीचर बन जाओ, अक्सर ये रहता है। और ग्रामीण लेवल में तो अक्सर ये रहता ही है कि बच्चे भी पल जाएंगे आराम से, सुबह की जॉब होती है, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ जब शादी होती है तो सबसे पहले यही देख लिया जाता है कि लड़की बहुत अच्छी हो, पढ़ी लिखी भी हो, घर में काम करने वाली भी हो, नौकरी वाली भी हो, हर तरह से संपन्न हो। तो बेचारे हमारे यहाँ ज़्यादातर उड़ीसा से या फरीदाबाद से या हरियाणा से यहाँ से लड़कियाँ आती हैं, वो पढ़ने आती हैं, तो बड़ा कष्ट होता है उन लोगों को। अर्ली मॉर्निंग निकलना पड़ता है, सुबह 7 बजे प्रैक्टिस टीचिंग के लिए स्कूलों में पहुँचना पड़ता है। तो मैं एक महिला होने के नाते मेरा एक सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर होता है, अगर थोड़ा 10-20 मिनट लेट भी हो जाती हैं तो दूसरे बच्चे हल्ला भी करते हैं कि मैडम आप इनको क्यों अलाउ करते हो, लेट हो जाते हैं, प्रेयर में नहीं आ पाते हैं। तो मैं कहती कोई बात नहीं, कम से कम वो यहाँ तक तो आई हैं और कोशिश कर रही हैं कि मैं कुछ बनना चाहती हूँ, कम से कम मैं टीचर बन जाऊँगी तो मैं अपने पैरों पर खड़ी हो जाऊँगी और मेरा एक अस्तित्व हो जाएगा। जिस तरह से वो लोग बयान करती हैं कि हम लोग घरों से निकलते हैं तो इतना इतना पर्दा डाल के निकलते हैं मैडम, और हम लोगों के लिए बोलना भी अलाउड नहीं है, हम लोग मतलब बिल्कुल घर के सारे काम भी करके आना पड़ते हैं। तो जो हम बीएड कर रहे हैं या टीचर्स का कोर्स कर रहे हैं तो हमें बड़ा कष्ट होता है। उसके बाद हमें यहाँ से 5 घंटे हम लोग यहाँ पढ़ते हैं, उसके बाद फिर जाके हमें फिर होमवर्क करना पड़ता है, घर में बच्चे भी देखना पड़ते हैं, घर में सास ससुरों को भी देखना, जॉइंट फैमिली में होती है, बहुत कुछ देखना पड़ता है। लेकिन मैं ये देख रही हूँ अभी जैसे कोविड में भी देखा है कि महिलाओं में इतना परिवर्तन आ गया, वो अब अपनी बात को कहती हैं और काम को करती हैं। जैसे अब कोविड में आपने देखा कि महिला जो है घर में काम भी कर रही है, बच्चे को भी हाथ में ली हुई है, खाना भी बना रही हैं, ठीक है, सभी महिलाओं के साथ ऐसा हुआ है, और वो ऑनलाइन टीचिंग भी कर रही है। तो जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं कि वो सरस्वती का अवतार है, दुर्गा का अवतार है, वो अवतार नहीं, वो साक्षात है, वो सारे काम कर रही है कि मैं वो पूरी की पूरी काबिल है कि मैं कमज़ोर नहीं, मैं नारी हूँ, मैं कमज़ोर नहीं, मैं नारी हूँ, और मैं एक एक पर भारी हूँ, और मैं कमज़ोर नहीं, मैं नारी हूँ, मैं एक एक पर भारी हूँ, मैं एड़ी चोटी से लेकर काबिल पूरी सारी की सारी हूँ। तो आज जो ये महिला है बहुत सशक्त हो गई है, और आज हर एरिया में, चाहे न्याय के एरिया में हो, चाहे सैन्य एरिया में हो, चाहे चिकित्सा के एरिया में, सब में आगे आगे भाग रही है और सब में आगे आगे कर रही है। आज वो अपनी बात कहने के लिए वो लड़ जाती है, वो भिड़ जाती है और हारती नहीं है, थकती नहीं है, और आगे आगे बढ़ने के लिए तैयार रहती है।
वेरी राइटली सेड मैम। मैम, as you are from gender studies, ma'am, I would like to ask a very specific question, ma'am, that what does feminism mean to you as a academician?
Well, that's you've asked me, how as an academician. Now, I'm in the yes, you're right. I'm in the field. It's still being called. You can see this name of my center, Center for Women's Development Studies, which tells you something about when it was established in 1980, the so-called development decade. And the word gender we were not using at that time, but I'm glad that you are using it. Actually, if it's my own history or you're asking, I'm a very much a latecomer to feminism. I would say that when and in fact, I keep telling my students, don't take me as your model, because I have an undergraduate degree in science, I have a postgraduate degree in economics, I have an MPhil degree in philosophy, and I have a PhD in women's studies. I tell people, don't do this. It's foolish, and it took a while, because I think for many years in my life, I thought that no, and I think it's not a completely wrong idea. I thought that the most significant problems, that's why I left science and went to economics, that, poverty in our country and class differences in our country and the inequalities that stare you in the face, that is the single most important problem. So forget the fact that I'm a woman, forget the fact that, women are in the home too often. In fact, even though you've said very positive things about women, it is true that in our country, far too many women are working. They're working, by the way. They're working, but they're working in ways that don't get recognized. They're getting up earlier than the men, they're going to bed later than the men, and that work is not given value. That is, I think, still something that is in our country. I feel ashamed to say this, even as you've told these very wonderful stories. But that was not in my mind. Actually, in my mind was in fact hardship, and the fact that I was, even if it was a modest middle class home, I was not poor in those ways. And I thought that was the single biggest problem in our country. So I said being a woman didn't matter. So in fact, even when I was something about, I would say, a tomboy when I was growing up, I would keep wearing male clothing so that I used to cycle and think nobody will, because otherwise you were harassed on the roads, right? So I tuck up, I had longer hair, I would tuck it in, I would do something so that people didn't know that I was female. So, but I denied, I kept thinking those are not the big problems in life. I can manage, and I joined JNU for an economics degree where I was probably one of 2 students at that time, women students. And even then I thought that's really not the problem. It took a long time. I would say it took post my MA for me to recognize that indeed, whatever you may think of yourself, the world has a way of marking you as female, putting you in your place very often, or thinking that you're a weirdo, you're strange because you're not fitting in. And it's okay for some women who are clever to be different, but everybody else should be in their place. I think it took a while, and I also went abroad for my PhD, and I was married. I did get married to the person my partner that was done against conventions. So in that context, I also discovered that there is a way in which even our lives are sexualized in a certain way. That if you have a husband, you're assumed to have to live. We were in 2 different campuses. Everybody said, no, you should be in the same campus. And you should and this was, of course, the USA. They said you must, and I'm sorry if I'm saying this a little frankly, they said if your husband is on one coast and you're in another coast, you can be sure that he will leave you and find someone else. This is a country of freedom. I was very taken aback by all this. So I felt that, okay, let me now look at some of these issues that somehow I considered to be secondary. And that was a moment of awakening for me. And in fact, my PhD was then all about women's movements in the US and India. And I have feminism in the title of my book, which probably was not a smart thing to do in terms of jobs. So it was a discovery that indeed, and then I came back, and the only job I found was in a women's studies center, whether it was in JNU or whether it was here in CWDS, which is just down the road from where you are, on Bhai Veer Singh Marg. We're very close to you. So I had not imagined this ever in my life. If somebody had told me 10 years ago, you're going to be in a women's studies center, I would have said, no, what nonsense. That's not my space at all. So I'm a peculiar product of it. And now we have many centers. We have MPhil PhD programs in women and gender studies. I've been working with the Ambedkar University Delhi, where that is a part of the core program we teach. Jamia has an excellent women's studies center. I started the one in JNU. So what didn't exist maybe 20, 30 years ago now is, I think, fairly recognized. And even gender studies is word that people got a little scared. What are you talking gender? No, 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 women is okay, but what do you mean by gender? And then we'd start out our, teaching by saying, you think there are only two genders? I don't think there are only two genders. There are more than two genders. And now we can say this, I mean, so yes, I am an accidental product of where I am, and I'm a very happy one now, but I'm a latecomer.
That's wonderful, ma'am. Also, ma'am, you said about inequality,
Yes.
and you said
Yes.
about gender, and
Yes.
these are the very two things Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has worked on.
Yes.
He has talked about gender, and he wanted to
Yes.
empower women, and he
Yes.
believed that if the women of this country are empowered, they are educated, and they are at different levels of in our society, that is when our nation will progress. And he has worked a lot on casteism, and he has very closely linked casteism with gender. I would like your comments on that.
Okay. Well, if I'm a latecomer to feminism, I'm an even more latecomer when it comes to Ambedkar. And I think that's a collective failure in India, in the women's movement in India, because as I'm reading him, and I feel I'm a student when it comes to reading him and thinking about what he said, I would say, and I've been saying this now more recently, that he is probably the most significant male political figure of the 20th century when it comes to thinking about women. There is actually nobody. We have thought of many, and they're all interesting. Gandhi is very fascinating, or sometimes not so fascinating. There are any number of figures that we have thought of in relationship to women, and a lot has been written. But there's actually a great deal more that Ambedkar has had to say, and he has had to say very different things at different points in time. So he's a journey. He's somebody who went on a journey. And I don't know whether you're aware that the very first essay he wrote, and it was actually a presentation he made as a graduate student, 23 years old, in 1916 in Columbia University, called Castes in India, Their Genesis and Transformation. It's one of the first essays, I think, even in the Blue series of Ambedkar's writings and speeches. The title would give you no clue that there was anything about women or gender in that. And it's all about women and gender. And he is the one who actually named caste endogamy, the fact that marriages are arranged. First of all, that there is something called marriage as an institution, a compulsory institution of our country, and that it is arranged in terms of endogamy, that is, you have to marry within your caste, and you could be excommunicated if you don't. He felt this was a unique structure in India, that it was much more common for societies to actually marry out. That you had what is called exogamy, that groups or tribes would be looking for women from outside in order to expand themselves, and that we were not doing that as in terms of, and he felt caste was unique and therefore also uniquely problematic as an institution in our country. So he said this from the very beginning. He also said that it affected different women differently, and he said it's not just caste endogamy, it's graded inequalities. And at the very top, when he's writing in 1916, he's saying, yes, there's the Brahmin caste at the top, but they have the worst practices when it comes to women. It is they who are practicing child marriage and sati. And unfortunately, it is castes below them who are trying to imitate these to whatever extent possible, and upper castes are also excluding them from upper caste privileges. So, of course, today we may say that it's a different world today. Upper castes have managed to get ahead in life, and we think of child marriage as a backward, rural, poor practice. That was not the story in that point. It was and Shoni could tell us about Bengal. It was indeed Brahmin families who were practicing these practices. And in fact, it was possibly that Dalit and other families, when they were working, the children were not married off necessarily when they were small children. They were probably allowed to work longer. It may have been a harsh life. I don't want to romanticize it. But so he began there. And then he moved on to many other things, factory labor, Dalit Samaj, the Hindu Code Bill that somebody mentioned, so many things that and he also talked, let me also add that he also talked about Muslim women, their rights, minority rights, it's a quite a remarkable. I think we have not really grasped all that he has said.
I agree, ma'am. And Dr. Ambedkar was very much impressed by the women in his life. And his first wife was from his community. However, the second marriage that he married outside his caste. And he often said that if you want to end caste system, you have to start getting married in different castes. Yes, ma'am. So, Shohini ma'am, I want to ask you one question that because you have also you are a professor, but you are also a filmmaker, and you have also worked with different segments of women. I've seen your work in different documentaries. Would you like to share about the struggle that those women faced, and how do you think that the story now is different in after these many years of when you made that film?
Tales of the Night Fairies? Yes, ma'am. So, well, yes and no. It's kind of a little complex. So the film that she's referring to is called Tales of the Night Fairies. In the Bengali title is Rat Porider Kotha. The translation is Tales of the Night Fairies. And it's about the sex workers movement in Calcutta. Before I went into making this film for 5 years, I was actually looking at the subject. Initially, I didn't take it very seriously. And then I realized that all the complicated and the complex and the most difficult feminist issues actually, are part of the sex workers movement. Because it's when a woman doesn't really follow conventions and she's called, a whore or a woman of loose character. And so even though when we were growing up in Calcutta, we were not allowed to go anywhere near the red light area, the red light, the shadow of the prostitute always haunted us. Because, if you did something that was not right, and that has happened to me even when I was in college, some guy, he touched one of my friends and went off. And then when we got hold of him, he says, "Arey, aise ladkiyon ke saath kaun chhed-chhad karega?" So it immediately becomes the problem of the woman, So all these things kind of drove me to this thing. And it was very interesting that I have a sequence in my film where there's a roll call of sex workers, because the film was also about a time when they were working on health, this Shonagachi HIV project. And they were, and it is one of the model projects in the world where they were able to, control AIDS. So they had a new identity, They were not just sex workers, but they were being taken seriously. They were like health practitioners, and as a result, they all kind of got together. And as they got together, they realized that they have other kinds of problems. So what is the problem? The gundas will come and extort money from them. People will take money and run away from them. And it was a very interesting thing for me, because all my life I had been told that, sex workers are exploited by the pimps and the landladies and all that. And I realized that that's not the problem that they're facing. The landladies and pimps or their agents are not a problem. The problem is that the police can raid them anytime, even though the IPTA Act does not say that. It doesn't say that you can raid them, but they do raid it. But because these are stigmatized women, people say, ठीक ही हुआ है. ऐसे अगर आप करोगे तो ऐसे ही होगा आपके साथ. So I began to see how violence was actually very different from, as a middle class woman growing up in Calcutta, not being at all part of that, that area, that we would not even go there, And we had a certain idea about what violence was for them. But when I met them and realized that their idea of what was violence was very, very different. So the Calcutta sex workers are very, very well organized. They run a bank, Usha Cooperative Bank, that has won many national awards. So they have a cultural troupe. They do very well. So they are, kind of all-round successful women doing a lot of interesting things. The ship was a model project. But the problem, of course, is just the idea that there is still a large number of people. That is why even among feminists there's a debate on this. And I actually was very disillusioned with feminism when I went to make the film. Because feminists were saying, आप sex worker नहीं हो सकते, आप LGBTQ नहीं हो सकते, तो क्या हो सकते हैं, So, but then I go to the sex workers thing and I realize that they have a carnival and there are these feminists who try to stop the carnival and they've invited those people to have a dialogue with them. I thought that was the most generous thing that you can do. That, you know, here are people who don't even want you to exist. और आप उनको बुला रहे हैं मंच पे और कह रहे हैं कि चलिए बात करते हैं. तो मुझे लगा कि भाई फेमिनिज्म का जो प्रिंसिपल्स है ये तो यही है कि हम जो I may disapprove or approve of anything, but I must believe in the right of the woman to do that. And if I do not believe, and everybody doesn't have to lead their life according to what I want, nor should I have to lead my life according to what somebody else wants. But this business of allowing everybody to lead their lives, and I'm learning it all back from the sex workers. So that was actually quite fascinating. But even now, there's such a large number of feminists who want to abolish this. And despite the fact that we have a huge network of sex workers across India, and now that network is not just women, but also, a lot of trans sex workers. But this is the problem कि मैं सबको ये कहती हूँ कि मान लीजिए कहीं पे टीचर्स के लेके कोई मुद्दा हो रहा है तो वहाँ जाके तो आप टीचर्स से ही सवाल करते हैं ना दैट व्हाट डू यू वांट, या डॉक्टर्स के कोई मुद्दे हैं तो आप उनसे जाके पूछते हैं कि भाई बताइए कि आपका क्या राय है. सेक्स वर्कर्स के बारे में कोई उनसे नहीं पूछता. Everybody else who's not a sex worker is taking decisions about them. And these are some of the issues that we still need to think about. And that has been very debilitating for them because a lot of money has gone into the abolitionist, movements. So the sex workers have been starved of, any kind of income. And I keep telling people that jitna aap inko is, you will put restrictions on them if they want to move out of sex work. Many of them do. Like any one of us, sometimes we are just tired of what we are doing, we want to do something else. So many sex workers are now flying sex workers. जब वो कुछ नौकरी करते हैं तो वो करते हैं. जब नौकरी नहीं होता, they do sex work. Sometimes they want to go into something else, but the migration is very difficult because you're stigmatized. So that is a problem. Plus, COVID has had a devastating effect. Because with social distancing and all that, the businesses suffered greatly. So a lot of people have been trying to help them. Women's organizations have been trying to help the sex workers. So it's been they've come out of, or they're still struggling with a very difficult situation right now.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, आपके life में who are your inspirational women जिन्होंने आपको help करा है, who have helped you in your career?
Of course, my parents, of course, are there. They have been always giving me a right path and always telling me कि भाई उन्हीं के कारण तो मैंने जॉब ज्वाइन किया. अरे अभी प्रैक्टिस बहुत हो गया, क्या करना है, रात रात को तुम बैठी रहती हो, शाम को 3-3 बजे तक तुम अपनी पेशेंट्स को देख रही हो, अब प्रैक्टिस बहुत हो गया, बच्चों को देखो. तब मैंने उन्हीं, मेरे फादर वाज ऑफ कोर्स ही इंस्पायर्ड मी ऑलवेज व्हेन ही इज अ राइट पाथ, एंड माय मदर हैज बीन वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग, एंड इवन दो दैट टाइम शी वाज अ बीएड ग्रेजुएट उस समय की. माय फादर वाज अ चीफ इंजीनियर्स रेलवे में. तो उनका तो वही सपना था कि भाई बिकॉज आई मैरिड टू अदर कास्ट इन पंजाबी, सो तो उनका सपना था जब तुम्हारा नाम दुनिया में ऊंचे उड़ेगा तब मैं तुमको माफ़ करूँगा. मैंने कहा हो गया, चलो. बट एज फार एज वुमेन कंसर्न, what you said, madam, that the ladies are getting married late, they don't want to, of course they want to be self-sufficient and all. Nowadays, now the things are, because late marriage is 35, 30, if the girl child, they crosses 30 years, then it is difficult to get, no, that is different. Married, okay, you're the boy of your choice. Their choice also, and even the everybody wants कि younger girl होनी चाहिए, शादीशुदा. शादी के लिए तो young लड़की होनी चाहिए, है ना, 22-23 से 27-28 29 तक. बट 30-32 के बाद तो क्या होता है अभी. नाउ आई थिंक द डाटा इज ऑल्सो कम डाउन, द मेल एंड द फीमेल ratio has also, is disturbed now. So it is, we have to only teach our boys for their gratitude and attitude. We have to teach them to be, good. They have to, at least how to behave with their, if they behave nicely with their sister and mother, so same type they have to behave outside also. Why to harass them? So we have to start teaching us our male children only. तो देन ओनली वी कैन आई थिंक गेट सक्सेस. नॉट ओनली कि अब तो आजकल क्या हो रहा है कि पीपल आर गेटिंग लेट मैरिजेस, पीपल आर द चिल्ड्रन आर बॉर्न लेट, दे आर नॉट बिन ब्रॉट अप इन अ वेरी गुड वे, एंड 60 years के बाद फादर होता है तो बच्चे की शादी नहीं होती है ना, बच्चे की शादी नहीं हुई है तो वो भी एवरीबडी आजकल तो है थोड़ा नीड बेस हो जाएगा, बिकॉज द नाउ द ये सर्कल जो है उल्टा जाएगा अभी. एवरीथिंग हैज़ टू बी चेंज नाउ. जैसे हम लोग जो है इतना हम एसी चलाते हैं तो एनवायरनमेंट में कितना ये आ रहा है, उस तरह से हमारी अपनी लाइफ के लिए भी वी हैव टू सेव आवर ऑर्गन्स, मेक आवर सेल्फ हैप्पी, हेल्दी. सो इवन द वुमेन ऑल्सो शुड गेट मैरी अर्ली and the boy also should get married early because this reproductive age has to have a good number of years. So this is very essential to keep your organ, your health very good, and you can have a good life. Earlier, what, people used to have a live I think 90 years, and they never used to look like कि भाई 90 साल का, 80 years. You see, in villages, people are still they are very healthy. They don't have that much of problem as we have. Problem in metro cities. Villages में they don't have that much of problem because they go according to their संस्कार. So हमने भी अपने बच्चों को, especially male बच्चों को संस्कार पहले से सिखाने चाहिए, और लड़कियों को भी थोड़ा सा ये करना चाहिए कि दबा नहीं रखना चाहिए. ऑफ कोर्स दे हैव टू स्टैंड ऑन टू देयर. एंड लड़की क्या नहीं कर सकती, शादी के बाद बच्चे भी पैदा कर सकती है, काम भी कर सकती है, सब कुछ कर सकती है. फिर उसको शादी क्यों नहीं करनी है टाइम से? जब वो सब कुछ कर सकती है ना, तो शादी भी टाइम से करे. हर चीज़ सिखानी पड़ेगी. लेडीज आर सुपर पावर.
Ma'am, I absolutely agree that what you are saying.
If lady gets sperm produced child, if you give her a house, she will make a home. She will not leave it. She'll make a lovely home. She'll produce children.
No, ma'am,
and
that's wonderful.
happiness is
But
there.
my question is like, why is it that everything is a woman's responsibility? Why is it that right now, I
That's why I'm
have
telling
many
you.
friends, and even in my family, I see now what you said, that now we need to change the upbringing of a male child.
Male
We
child,
need
we have to teach them
teach them.
gratitude.
Yes, we need to.
Their attitude has to be changed.
We need to teach them attitude, gratitude, and also that
to respect female one.
they have to
और
learn
female
to
को
respect, and they need to learn how to cook. They need to learn
course, everybody
how
cooks.
to take care of your
Nowadays,
children.
nowadays male
Yes.
also they cook very good, and
Yes,
they are the
ma'am.
best chef.
And they
They can
need
cook
to be
very well.
homemakers as well.
Yes, they,
with
of
the
course.
women.
Of
That
course.
is the thing.
That has to be there.
Yes.
होटल का खाना कोई ना जाए खाने. तुम घर में बनाओ ना खाना.
Chef, no ma'am, like when we talk about chefs are mostly men. And
No,
they
chefs are women also.
mostly
Most-
they are men,
Mostly
and they
men because
cook
they created
outside,
like
but
this.
they would never make food at home. So that is also one thing.
I know people where the people makes food at home. बहुत अच्छे से.
I also, even in my family, ma'am, I know men who are taking care of women maximum. Like, they're taking care of the children very well. They're taking care of them, and they are sharing responsibilities, which is why women like us are able to sit here and work. Yeah. But the question is still here, like what we are saying here, what ma'am said. A lady, ma'am ने बोला अभी कि एक औरत है जो सुबह घर का भी काम करके आ रही है, इन-लॉस को भी देख रही है.
काम मत करो ना.
नहीं,
काम
मैम
मत करो.
करना पड़ रहा है उन्हें.
नहीं,
उनका मजबूरी है
Let
मैम.
the men do it.
उनकी मजबूरी नहीं हो रहा ना मैम. यही मैं आपसे पूछने वाली
वो
थी.
महिला खुद करना चाहती है. वो हर चीज अपने हाथ में रखना चाहती है.
नहीं मैम.
नहीं, वो हर चीज अपने हाथ में रखना चाहती है.
देखिए मैडम, मैं इस बात का जवाब देना चाहूँगी। देखिए महिला जो आपने कहा है कुक बहुत अच्छी बनती है, लेकिन आप देखिए महिला जो है, अभी जो मोदी जी ने पैसा निकलवाया था, महिला सुगल गृहिणी होती है, वो एक एक पैसा बचाती है और जहाँ भी चाहे घर का काम करे, चाहे खाना बनाए, कोई भी फील्ड में जाए, वो परफेक्ट होती है।
किस लिए पैसा
इसीलिए।
बचाना किस
नहीं,
लिए?
पैसा
यू
नहीं
कैन
बचाती,
स्पेंड ऑन योरसेल्फ।
किफायती से
Why?
काम
No,
करती है वो,
no.
किफायत से। इतना
नहीं।
पुरुष नहीं कर पाता है
नहीं,
जितनी
नहीं
अच्छी
करे,
होम
नहीं
मेकर
करे।
महिला होती है।
आप किसके लिए पैसा इकट्ठा
नहीं,
करोगे?
पैसा की वाली बात
बच्चे
नहीं है,
बच्चे
मतलब
जब
जो
पैदा
खाना
होते
भी
हैं
बना
बच्चे
रही है,
खुद अपने आप को
उसमें भी
सेल्फ
वो बहुत
डिपेंडेंट बनाते
परफेक्ट
हैं।
तरीके
नहीं,
से
I
काम
think-
करती है।
I
वो
think-
घर के प्रत्येक व्यक्ति के लिए सोचती है
नहीं
कि
सोचना
बड़े लोग
है।
भी खा लें,
No,
घर के
no,
बाहर के मेहमान भी
no.
खा लें,
यही
पीछे
बात
के
है,
लिए भी
यही
रह
चेंज
जाए
करना
अच्छी
है।
तरह से।
यही चेंज करना है। किस लिए घर की औरत जो है बाद में खाना खाए?
नहीं,
किस
वो खाना
लिए?
खाने
Why?
की वाली बात
यही
नहीं, वो
चीज-
उसकी अपनी
नहीं।
मर्जी से है।
नहीं, मर्जी होती है, ठीक है, लेकिन
ऐसा नहीं है कि वो
यही-
पहले खाए।
मैम
नहीं, वो तो
यही
चेंज करना है बराबर से।
एक्चुअली व्हाट शी इज सिंग एंड व्हाट यू आर सिंग दोनों सही है। वो बात ये है मैम कि काफ़ी सारे ऐसे घर हैं जहाँ पर लेडीज़ को मजबूर करा जा रहा है काम करने के लिए, और बहुत सारे जो आप बोल रहे हैं दैट इज़ द आइडियल सिचुएशन कि एक औरत को अपना खुद देखना पड़ता है, बट वो मजबूरी में बहुत सारा, बिल्कुल आप अपनी, ये ही होना चाहिए कि एक औरत को पहले अपनी ज़िंदगी देखना चाहिए और फिर बाकी घर वालों को देखना चाहिए। एंड जो मैम बोल रही हैं, बिल्कुल, बट मैम जो आपसे मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपसे मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि ये जो आपने बताया वो हमें पता है, जैसे कि आपने बोला कि लेडीज़ जो हैं वो टीचिंग में इसीलिए आ रही हैं कि हम लोगों को कम से कम कि बच्चों की, इन द सेंस यू कैन टेक केयर ऑफ़ योर फैमिली लाइफ और अपना काम दोनों साथ साथ मैनेज करा जा सकता है। स्कूल टीचिंग में क्या है कि आप बच्चे के साथ आप भी वापस आ जाएंगे, बच्चा भी देख लेंगी, घर भी दिख जाएगा। तो क्या यही रीज़न है जिसकी वजह से लेडीज़ टीचिंग में आ रही हैं? क्या यही रीज़न है कि हम लोग जो नॉर्मल ये आपका जो एजुकेशन का कोर्स है मोस्टली विमेन ही करती हैं, बहुत कुछ ही मेन हैं जो ये करते हैं? क्या सिर्फ इसी रीज़न की वजह से एजुकेशन में आना चाह रही हैं, टीचिंग में आना चाह रही हैं, या जनरली भी उनको पढ़ाने की इच्छा है या प्रॉस्पर की अपने घर के लिए कुछ कर सकें उसका
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि इसकी वजह से नहीं आ रही। देखिए अब लोग तो पहले तो टीचिंग का इतना आसानी से कोर्स हो जाता था, लेकिन अब तो प्री टेस्ट देना पड़ता है, उनको भी मेहनत करनी पड़ती है और आना पड़ता है। लेकिन महिलाओं के लिए थोड़ा सा ये समझते थे कि ये थोड़ा सा आराम से इजीली जॉब हो जाता है, इसलिए। पर अब ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। अब महिलाएं विभिन्न फील्डों में जा रही हैं और अच्छे से काम कर रही हैं और हर एरिया में काम कर रही हैं। और महिलाओं के लिए तो ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं वो शिक्षा ग्रहण नहीं कर रही हैं। मैं महिलाओं के लिए, जैसे कि मैडम का भी जवाब मैं दूंगी और इस बारे में बताऊंगी। मैं सबसे पहले महिलाओं के लिए जो मैं, जैसे आप लोगों ने पूछा कि महिलाओं के लिए, तो मैं सबसे पहले अंबेडकर जी को नमन करूंगी और मैंने उनसे जो प्रेरणा ली है कि उन्होंने महिलाओं के लिए बहुत किया है, बहुत किया। आज हम जिस दिवस को मना रहे हैं, 1908 में जो दिवस की जो शुरुआत हुई थी तो एक आंदोलन से हुई थी, और उस आंदोलन में यही किया गया था कि हमें भी वेतन समान दिया जाए और हमें भी छुट्टियां दी जाएं और हमें भी मतदान का अधिकार दिया जाए, ठीक है। और उस समय जो है जूलियन कैलेंडर चलता था तो वो 23 फरवरी का था और बाद में उसको ग्रेगोरियन में जाकर जो हमारा है जो 8 मार्च के लिए इंटरनेशनल वीमेन डे मना दिया। लेकिन 1913 में उस समय देखिए जब कहीं और भी नहीं सोच रहे थे, शुरुआत हुई थी, तो अंबेडकर ने न्यूयॉर्क में अपने भाषण में कहा था कि माता पिता बच्चों को जन्म तो दे रहे हैं लेकिन कर्म के भागी नहीं हैं। आप इस बात को हमेशा ध्यान रखिए कि आप अपने लड़के और लड़की दोनों को हमेशा बराबर शिक्षा दीजिए, सकारात्मक सोच रखिए। और उन्होंने कहा था कि मैं किसी देश की प्रगति का अनुमान जब ही लगा सकता हूँ कि वहाँ की महिला कितनी शिक्षित है। नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट ने भी कह दिया कि भैया आप लोग मुझे पढ़ी लिखी महिलाएं दीजिए या माताएं दीजिए, आप मैं कुछ सुशिक्षित आपको राज्य दे दूंगा। जैसा कि अंबेडकर के बारे में मैंने बहुत कुछ पढ़ा है तो उसमें मैंने देखा उन्होंने 3 गुरु माने थे। एक तो कबीर को, भगवान बुद्ध को माना है, ठीक है, ज्योतिबा फूले को माना है, नारायण गुरु को भी माना है। तो उन्होंने देखा, ज्योतिबा फूले ने भी यही कहा कि विद्या बिन मति गई, मति के बिन नीति गई, नीति के बिन विकास गया और वित्त गया। तो एक अविद्या ने कितने अनर्थ कर दिए। उसी के साथ जो है नारायण गुरु हैं, नारायण गुरु उन्होंने भी कहा कि आप आप मंदिर बना रहे हो, इतने सारे मंदिर बना रहे, आप मंदिर मत बनाइए, आप विद्यालय खोलिए, सबको शिक्षा दे दीजिए। तो वहाँ से उन्होंने किया। उसके बाद देखिए कानून मंत्री के रूप में हमेशा जो आज हम मैटरनिटी लीव ले रहे हैं वो उन्हीं की देन है। दूसरी बात है जो ESI में भी आया, उसके बाद एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज के लिए जो बाहर पढ़ना चाहते थे उनके लिए रोजगार कार्यालय खुले। उसके बाद जो हिंदू बिल एक्ट, उसके लिए उन्होंने जो 4 चीज़ें कही कि विवाह के लिए कहा कि भाई आप एक शादी कीजिए, 2-2 शादी कर लेते हैं, वो एक विवाह को उन्होंने मान्यता दी। उसके बाद पहले जो बच्चों को गोद लेने का अधिकार था, जो उसमें पत्नी की रजामंदी हो या ना हो, तो वो गोद लेने का अधिकार को दिया। फिर वित्त संपत्ति के अधिकार में भी उसने दर्जा दिया। और एक पत्नी थी जो तलाक केवल आदमी ही दे सकता था, लेकिन लेडीज़ नहीं दे सकती थी, लेकिन वो अधिकार भी उन्होंने दिया। लेकिन उस समय क्या हो, कुछ परिस्थितियां ऐसी थी, उन्होंने यहाँ तक कि इन महिलाओं के लिए कहें या हम नारियों के लिए, उन्होंने अपने पद से इस्तीफा तक दे दिया। और उसके बाद वही एक्ट 2005 में जो आज हम बोलते हैं लड़कियों को बराबर संपत्ति का अधिकार मिला है, वो उन्हीं की देन है। तो हम उनको कैसे भूल सकते हैं। और दूसरी बात ये है कि वो जो नारायण गुरु थे, उसके बाद जो है हमारे विवेकानंद जी ने कहा कि महिलाओं में अंतर्निहित शक्तियाँ हैं, उन शक्तियों को बाहर निकालो, उनको प्रस्फुटित करो, उनको पल्लवित करो, संरक्षित करो। देखिए महिला क्या नहीं कर सकती हैं। उसके बाद रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर हैं, रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर ने भी महिलाओं के लिए कहा। उन्होंने डायरेक्ट ना कहकर उन्होंने अपनी कविता के माध्यम, एक पात्र है चित्रा के माध्यम से मैं मैडम की बात का जवाब देना चाहूँगी। उन्होंने चित्रा के माध्यम से अपने मन के उद्गार निकाले हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि हम लोग कहते हैं यत्र नारस्य पूजन्ते रमन्ते तत्र देवता, तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है, अब समय बदल गया है। और समय के साथ साथ में जो मन के उद्गार थे, उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे जो महिला है, मुझे इतना प्रतिष्ठित मत करो, देवी मत बनाइए, इतना मत ऊंचा उठाइए कि मैं मंदिर में ही पूजी जाऊं, और मुझे इतना नीचा मत गिरा दीजिए कि मैं पैरों से कुचल जाऊं, और मुझे अपने समकक्ष रहने दो, ताकि मैं आपके हर कर्म, हर कार्य, हर फल की सहभागी हूं, और मैं आपसे कंधा से कंधा मिलाकर इस कार्य को कर सकूं। मैं आपके समकक्ष आना चाहती हूँ, मैं आपके समकक्ष रहना चाहती हूँ। तो इस तरह से मतलब उन्होंने कहा। इसी तरह सावित्रीबाई फुले, जिन्हें हम याद नहीं करते, हमारी प्रथम अध्यापिका, महिला की अध्यापिका थी, उन्होंने भी कहा कि आप पढ़ो लिखो और बाहर निकलो, क्योंकि अगर बिगैर पढ़ाई के जो है मनुष्य है या महिला है, वो जानवर के समान है। वैसे भी हम एजुकेशन में कहते हैं शिक्षा के बिना मनुष्य जो है बिना पुच्छ का पशु है। तो उन्होंने कहा पढ़ो लिखो और बाहर निकालो, क्योंकि आप बाहर निकलेंगी तो विद्या अर्जन करेंगी, ज्ञान का भंडार होगा, और ज्ञान के भंडार से आपके पास धन भी आएगा। तो आप खाली मत बैठिए और बाहर निकलिए और पढ़िए और नौकरी कीजिए और सक्षम होइए। तो इस तरह से उन्होंने भी कहा। तो इस तरह से हमारे जो कई विचारक हैं, थिंकर्स हैं, उन्होंने हमेशा इनके लिए, जो पढ़ाई के लिए, महिलाओं के लिए हमेशा लगे रहे कि आप पढ़िए और आगे बढ़िए। हमारे एक दलित चिंतक हैं मोहर सिंह निमेश, उन्होंने तो मतलब उसमें भी उन्होंने एक बालिका है उसकी असमर्थता के संदर्भ में बहुत अच्छा मतलब चित्रण किया है। तो उसमें एक मजदूर वर्ग की बालिका है, या कह दें कि ग्रामीण लेवल की एक बालिका है, तो बड़े अच्छी तरीके से चित्रण करके कह रही है। उन्होंने बताया है, उसने कहा है अपनी माँ से कि माँ मुझे इस झोपड़ी से निकल, माँ मुझे इस झोपड़ी से निकल बाहर जाने दे, और आह की खाइयाँ खोद कर मतलब इन गड्ढों को भरने दे, और मैं तेरी इस विरासत को ओढ़ना ही नहीं चाहती हूँ, और जो तूने सही है ज्यादतियाँ 20 शताब्दियों की, मैं उसको सहना नहीं चाहती हूँ, और मैं तेरी इस विरासत में एक कड़ी जोड़ना नहीं चाहती हूँ। माँ मुझे बाहर निकल, पढ़ने दे, मुझे पढ़ने दे। तो इस तरह से उसने अपनी असमर्थता को जाहिर किया है, और उसने कहा है कि मुझे पढ़ने दे, पढ़ने के लिए जोर दिया है। तो हमारी बालिकाएं जो हैं आज बहुत पढ़ रही हैं और पढ़ लिख कर एक सशक्त हो रही हैं। और मैं एक उदाहरण और देना चाहूँगी कि जो महिलाएं हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, जो आप लोग कह रहे हैं कि न्याय के क्षेत्र में नहीं आ रही हैं, सभी क्षेत्रों में आ रही हैं। उस समय की महिलाएं भी जो हैं, विदुषी ने पहले सवाल पूछा था कि पहले महिलाएं नहीं पढ़ी थी और आज पढ़ रही हैं। तो पहले महिलाएं पढ़ी होती तो इतनी समस्या नहीं है, लेकिन आज हम देख रहे हैं डे बाय डे प्रगति कर रही हैं। लेकिन महिलाएं पूरी तरह सक्षम हैं, अगर जहाँ अड़ जाए ना तो सबको हरा देती हैं। मैं सम्राट अशोक का उदाहरण देना चाहूँगी। उनके सामने महिलाएं सारी खड़ी हो गई थी और उन्होंने कहा था हमें तुम्हारा पानी नहीं चाहिए, हमें तुम्हारा खाना नहीं चाहिए। उन्होंने भी हथियार डाल दिए थे। और पद्मावती का मैं उदाहरण देना चाहूँगी कि यदि हमने उस समय उन महिलाओं को शिक्षित कर दिया होता या हमने उनको ट्रेंड कर दिया होता तो शायद वो महिलाएं जौहर नहीं करती, और जौहर नहीं करती और लड़ती और हम जीत जाते। और इसी शिक्षा का उदाहरण देना चाहूँगी कि हमारी झांसी की रानी है, झांसी की रानी के साथ में झलकारी बाई भी लड़ी थी, एक सामान्य महिला थी। तो हमने महिलाओं को ट्रेंड कर दिया, जहाँ हमने शिक्षा दी, जहाँ हमने उनको प्रशिक्षण दिया, हमें हमेशा फ़ायदा हुआ और हम आगे निकले। आज हमारा देश प्रगति कर रहा है तो महिलाओं के कारण ही कर रहा है, तो हमें महिलाओं को शिक्षित करना है, बढ़ाना है, पल्लवित करना है, विकसित करना है।
बिल्कुल। योगी मैम, नाउ दैट वी नो कि जर्नलिज्म में हमारी लड़कियां बहुत आगे जा रही हैं, एंड दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी आल्सो हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ कॉलेजेस जो अब जर्नलिज्म कर रहे हैं, एंड वी हैव अ फुल फ्लेज डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जर्नलिज्म नाउ। एंड विथ दैट हमारे यहाँ जर्नलिज्म में बहुत सारे फील्ड्स भी खुल गए। नाउ जर्नलिज्म इज़ नो लॉन्गर एसोसिएटेड विद जस्ट TV news channel. Now, and with the smartphones and everything, everyone has become a journalism. And we have so many other fields in journalism. आपको क्या लगता है कि अब women के लिए क्या क्या मीडिया से रिलेटेड, जर्नलिज्म से रिलेटेड क्या क्या वर्किंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं? And also, do you think they can, like, because you know media is one industry which works 24/7. It is not like a 9 to 5 job. And if you are into media, you have to be available, be ready to shoot at 10 o'clock or at 4 a.m. in the morning. Do you think it is like, you know, for the women, how difficult is it to manage everything together, like working life and home life?
Yeah, that is what, you know, like ma'am was saying that nahi, girls should get married early. It is not the case at present, because अगर महिलाओं को काम करना है तो the marriage can be delayed, because हर चीज़ का एक टाइम होता है। पहले अगर मैरिज की एज 18, 20, 21 थी, अब मैरिज की एज 30, 31, 32 है। And I myself got married at the age of 36. I was working in a college which was a convenient job. कोई मेरी 9 to 5 वाला जॉब नहीं था। But then because I was working, I was studying, I was doing PhD, I did a second MA, and I had dreams to, you know, do much more. मैं ठीक है टीचिंग लाइन में आ गई, but then I wanted to do something more. So आज की महिला, आज की लड़कियां, आप if you see the TV, though it is not, you know, limited to TV channels, but if you see TV channels, वहाँ लड़कियां ज़्यादा हैं, लड़के कम हैं. Especially, you know, if you see Republic, you see I watch mostly Hindi channels because I think चाहे हम कितना अंग्रेज़ी बोल लें, हिंदी ज़्यादा टच करती है, तो आई सी हिंदी चैनल्स. सो लड़कियां हैं जो इधर से उधर भाग रही हैं, चाहे वो कोविड में था, चाहे वो कुछ और कवर कर रही हैं या इलेक्शन कवर कर रही हैं, तो कहाँ नहीं है लड़कियां. जर्नलिज्म के हर फील्ड में लड़कियां हैं. माई वन स्टूडेंट चारुश्री रॉय, who got an award for editing Lipstick Under the Burqa. She was the editor of that film. वो IP की लड़की है. तो now, you know, so they are doing everything, and editing is not a joke. Editing, सबको लगता है editing क्या होता है? Editing is not a joke. Takes time to edit a good film and bring out a good film. So लड़कियां सब कुछ करें, कैमरा पे लैडर पे चढ़ के कैमरे से शूट करती हैं. शोइनी आपने तो खुद किया है, but my students are doing it and we see it. So कोई भी जर्नलिज्म का फील्ड नहीं है, कोई भी फील्ड नहीं है जहाँ लड़कियाँ नहीं हैं. They are flying planes, they are in the army, they are on the front. तो कहाँ नहीं है लड़कियाँ. तो यही बात सही कह रही हैं कि हमने पहला ज़माना जो था वहाँ पे औरत को, महिलाओं को अंदर दबा के रखा गया, क्योंकि शायद मैन के, आई मीन विद ऑल ड्यू अपॉलजीज टू मैन, ये था कि अगर जाने देंगे तो हमारे कंपटीशन में आएंगी, राइट. तो वो कंपटीशन टूटा, आई मीन वो भावना टूटी, एंड गर्ल्स आर नाउ एवरीवेयर, एंड सम प्लेसेस दे आर इवन, यू नो, डूइंग बेटर देन मैन. Better than men. I think even in the army, they will do better than men. And when they fly a plane, I have traveled in a plane which a girl was, women was flying. And you know, I felt the landing, the, you know, to take off was much more smoother than what the men do. Dham se lake, they, you know, do the landing. And I don't know, but, you know, I felt, and they are, because they're emotional. See, I am all for equality. I believe in gender equality. But I don't believe, see, the gender equality means respect for each other. That is the gender equality. I don't believe in that kind of gender equality. भाई मैं भी काम करती हूँ, आप भी काम करते हैं, थके हुए आते हैं, रोज मैं खाना क्यों पकाऊँ? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. थके आते हैं, अगर मैं बना सकती हूँ तो मैं बनाऊंगी. And in my case, at least, you know, cooking is a really very big, you know, kind of a relaxing situation. आप थक के आए हैं, आप खाना बनाएंगे, because that is creation. Film is not only creation. Making food is also creation. To cook good food and for your loved ones. और नारी के लिए क्या होता है, एक कोई कह दे इंसान खाना बहुत अच्छा बना है तो आपका पेट भर जाता है. You don't need anything else. I mean, this is what I have been feeling. And I cook a lot. So I don't believe in that kind of equality, gender equality. Yes, but respect for each other. If I am sitting here, my husband is sitting alone at home. That so he has not said, don't go away, because I am alone. Right? There's nobody at in the house. So that independence which my husband has given, many men have given, that is what is needed for equality. And women are doing everything, and you should teach your daughters to do everything, and they should, I always tell my students, chase your dreams. तुम्हें जो बनना है बनिए. And I tell the parents, please don't impose your ideology, your opinions, and your wants, and your likes and dislikes on your daughters. लड़कियाँ सब, you know, so many times girls question me, मैम हमें रात की पार्टी में जाने नहीं देते, लड़कों को जाने देते हैं, we cannot go at 1 o'clock party. वहाँ कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, हमारे इंडिया में प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. द सेफ्टी प्रॉब्लम इज देयर. बट देन आई टेल दोज गर्ल्स, या तो भैया आप सीखिए, वो जूडो सीखिए, बिकम सो स्ट्रांग कि आपको यू कैन फेस अ सिचुएशन लाइक दैट, जो कि आप नहीं कई बार कर पाते हैं. So that is a different issue. But students, girls feel that we are not given that freedom to go to parties, late night parties, where my brother is given that freedom. तो ये सब है, but that is also, you know, diminishing day by day. Parents do allow, they just look into the thing कि भाई लड़की safely गई और safely आ गई. बाकी they don't stop the student, their daughters doing certain things now. एक ज़माना था जब TV channels, broadcast media was just for men. When I did BA in 73, we could not even think of, you know, joining Delhi DD. But it was IP College, Pratima Puriji, the first newsreader is from IP, who became a newsreader. And धीरे scene change हुआ. And to then we have Salma Sultan, an IP product. So many IP products who have been in, you know, media. So धीरे change हुआ, and we opened a course in journalism. तो यही सोच के तो किया ना कि लड़कियां बनेंगी, जर्नलिस्ट बनेंगी, मीडिया पर्सन बनेंगी, कैमरा पर्सन बनेंगी, फिल्म प्रोड्यूस करेंगी. एंड ऑल्सो थिंग्स हैव चेंज. जब लड़कियां बीए में, आई डोंट नो, व्हेन वी यूज्ड टू टेक इंटरव्यू, दे केम वेरी स्टारी आइड, वी वांट टू बिकम बरखा दत्त. सबको था बरखा दत्त बनना है, बिकॉज यू नो दैट थिंग विच यू सी ऑन द टीवी, उससे एक वो you know, a kind of a stargaze they used to come. But when they studied for 3 years, by 3rd year, they did not want to become Barkha Dutt. They wanted to be behind the camera, behind the scenes, no anchoring. You know, because they learned. And I have seen my girls in IP creating such beautiful films, such beautiful advertisements, and doing a wonderful work even in their, you know, practicals, which perhaps I think I am now in a Delhi School of Journalism, जहाँ लड़के भी हैं. यहाँ भी मैं देखती हूँ कि लड़कियाँ are more creative than boys, because they are perhaps more focused. With all due apologies, I don't mean men are not focused, but I find that girls sometimes are more focused. क्योंकि लड़कियों का ये है, धुन में आ जाए, you know, they will get into it भूतों की तरह उसके पीछे, and will do it like you are doing it. You know, if you want to do the thing in a perfect manner. Perfectionism बहुत है फीमेल में, जो मेल में नहीं है. Again, with due apologies to men. So I think
कि मेल कहते घर में देखने वाली है ना.
no, even outside they are casual, sir.
मैडम एक कुछ बोलना चाहूँ मैं आपके उसमें. एक्चुअली में हम यहाँ महिलाओं की बात कर रहे हैं, तो हम ऐसा क्यों नहीं सोचते हैं, हम क्यों पुरुष को दोष दें.
हम दोष नहीं दे रहे.
दोष भी
No,
नहीं
ma'am, मैं दोष नहीं दे रही.
पुरुष के लिए हम क्यों प्रतिद्वंद्विता रखें.
प्रतिद्वंद्विता भी नहीं
रखें ना, हम पुरुष के लिए कुछ कहें. हर व्यक्ति अपने एरिया में
There is
परफेक्ट.
a
There
is a facility for a woman to become a more strong, and there is a facility from all local police people. They give a training for the self defense. Okay, and that is I used to do. This year because of COVID we did not do, but in Sabdarjung, because of the every time some people are coming, कोई मरीज़ के रिश्तेदार आते थे, सिस्टर से कुछ कर लिया, कुछ डॉक्टर्स ने कुछ कर लिया, कोई वार्ड बॉय ने कर लिया, फिर वहाँ मारपीट भी हो जाती थी। तो फिर मैंने सेल्फ डिफेंस की ट्रेनिंग 2-3 साल कराई है और 10 दिन की इनकी ट्रेनिंग होती है और वो लोग बहुत अच्छी ट्रेनिंग कराते हैं बच्चों को। तो एवरी ईयर आई थिंक 400-500 माई सिस्टर्स, MBBS students plus nursing student and even the workers who are in the administration also. The eldest one was I think 63 years old. She also did the self-defense training. So there is a facility, you know. If you think about it, to get yourself more stronger and empower, everything is there. And no, I'm not talking about in that way. What you said, I'm not misunderstood. Listen, no, I just want to say, I said for getting married in the right time, within 30 years of time, because you, it is very essential. Nowadays क्या है, अभी देखते हैं ना, सब लोग जाते हैं, जैसे अभी आप जाएंगे कहीं पर जाते हैं कंडोलेंस मीटिंग में, आजकल आई एम मैरिड टू पंजाबी, तो कहते वो तो बुढ़ा हंस गया, अब सारी जनानियां हैं बैठी वाइट साड़ी पहने हुए एक साइड में, बहुत सारी बैठी रहती है, ये क्या है? सो it is that you have to, of course, right time everything is possible, right time right thing is done is very essential.
मैम फिर राइट पर्सन भी तो चाहिए ना, राइट टाइम
मिल जाता है, मिल जाता है, ये तो नसीब की बात है, मिल जाता है।
नहीं देखिए, आई बीइंग
और
इन अ
second
वुमेन्स
thing,
कॉलेज
in Manipur,
one minute, being in a women's college, I have seen cases where the daughters were married off in first year, second year, and they came back in 3 or 4 months. क्योंकि माँ बाप क्या देखा, घर है, बहुत पैसा है, अच्छी नौकरी है,
अभी तलाक ज्यादा हो रहे हैं,
राइट पर्सन ऑल्सो,
गलत टाइम पे शादी कर रहे हैं
और गलत इंसान से हो रही है,
नहीं,
और गलत शायद इंसान से
अभी तलाक इसलिए ज्यादा हो रहे हैं क्योंकि लेट मैरिजेस हो रही हैं। 30 इयर्स में लड़की का भी दिमाग बिल्कुल फिक्स हो जाता है और हो जाता है, तो आजकल जो लेट मैरिजेस हो रही है बहुत ज्यादा तलाक हो रहे हैं। नहीं, अब मैं कुछ नहीं कहना चाहूंगी, आई ओनली सेड बिकॉज ऑफ हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम।
नहीं, आई एम जस्ट सेइंग आई शुड नॉट बी मिसअंडरस्टूड कि शायद मेरे को उनसे कुछ वो है, पुरुषों से मैं ये नहीं कह रही थी, आई थिंक आई हैव बीन मिसअंडरस्टूड, ये मैं नहीं कह रही, मैं सिर्फ ये कह रही हूँ, उन्होंने कहा कि जर्नलिज्म के क्षेत्र में विमेन किस तरह से काम कर रही हैं, मैंने उसमें कहा लड़कियाँ कर रही हैं और कहीं कहीं पे बेहतर कर रही हैं, और इस बात को मानने में मेरे ख्याल मेरे पुरुष दोस्त भी इस बात को डिनाई नहीं करेंगे कि कहीं कहीं पे लड़कियां ज़्यादा अच्छा कर रही हैं, और अपना कई आप देखिए माँ बाप भी, बाप कहता है मेरी बेटी मेरे बेटे से भी आगे है, कहता है।
बिल्कुल
ये आई शुड नॉट बी मिसअंडरस्टूड कि मैं कह रही हूँ कि नहीं मैन तो बिल्कुल कैजुअल है या बिल्कुल काम सही ढंग से नहीं करते, बिल्कुल नहीं। 2 पहिए हैं जी, दोनों पहिए ठीक होने हैं,
दोनों
अगर बराबर के हैं, अगर मैन का पहिया आप नीचे करेंगे तो देखिए पहले वेमेन का पहिया नीचे था, उसको ऊपर लाए हैं, तो अब बराबर चलना चाहिए। तो मैं मैन के पहिए को नीचे करने की बात बिल्कुल नहीं कर रही हूँ।
मणिपुर में अगर आप देखेंगे ना, there are Manipur, if you visit the northeast side, all the women are only working and the males are not working because they are only hookahbaz and they drinks.
Ma'am, I want to say something first. Ma'am, what Manusini ma'am said, that right now we are in this situation जहाँ पे दोनों पहियों को बराबर होना चाहिए। मैंने पहले भी कहा कि हम यहाँ बैठे हैं तभी, इसी वजह से मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ, बिकॉज आई नो दैट आई हैव अ हस्बैंड हु इज टेकिंग केयर ऑफ अ 6-year-old child, and it is what ma'am said, yes, for ma'am cooking is a stress buster, but it has also happened in today's time also that when I get back home late, my husband has prepared food for me and he is waiting for me. So the situation is finally changing. It is finally changing, and I do believe that you know, having a mental match is very important. And what ma'am was saying कि अगर हम लोग आज एक 18 साल की लड़की की या 20 साल की लड़की की शादी कर देते, जब तक माइंड नहीं बना हुआ होता है, जब तक you don't know what you want and what you want to do with your life, with time, if the woman is 30 years of age, she knows exactly what she wants to do with her life. She knows exactly what kind of a person she wants to get married to. And which is why there is a delay in marriage there, and I agree what my ma'am was saying, that because of that there are medical problems also, but it is a part of life. And no, but it is a part of life, and there, because of that only, there are medical advances, that now there is a lot happening.
To make a good career 24-25
have
तक भी
to
career
take-
नहीं
yes.
बनते. You have to नहीं
Employment को
see
improve करो,
मैम, अगर
लड़कियों को भी मिलेगा।
अगर लड़कियां टेलीविजन में सुबह से लेकर रात तक वो कर रही हैं, they start with a very, you know, on a lower level to reach a high position. उनको भी
will take
struggle
time.
करना पड़ता है. It will
Exactly.
take time.
Even
By
if
that
you-
time they'll be
ma'am,
above
even,
30.
even if you are a doctor or an MBA or
Everywhere.
an engineer, you have to reach a particular point in life.
Point.
Ultimate, because this is what my first question was, that you know, when you are in a graduation degree, many people हाँ कि engineering कर ली, doctor बन गए, तुरंत शादी कर दो.
हाँ,
But
गलत
that
है.
is now changing. That is now changing. People are
And,
here who believe in you know, academics, who want that नहीं हमारी बेटी अच्छे से पढ़ ले, अच्छी नौकरी में आ जाए, फिर देखे, then she would tell us
That's
that
the-
she is
हाँ.
ready for marriage,
Marriage.
then we'll get her married.
And medical field में भी मतलब it is an experience I must which I think everybody will share. मैम 25 बार अगर जल्दी करके सिर्फ MBBS करके कोई गायनी प्रैक्टिस करता है ना, उस डॉक्टर के पास कोई जाता नहीं है, बिकॉज उसका एक्सपीरियंस कम है. They go to a doctor who has about especially for, you know, a gynecologist problem or delivery, people go to a doctor जिसके पास 10-15 साल का experience है, because how your, you know, delivery is going to be cesarean, normal situation क्या आएगी, they want to go to a practiced hand, and that comes after, you know, in much age. After
आजकल
much age.
MBBS के बाद में ना कोई प्रैक्टिस नहीं करना
नहीं करना, भाई बाकी लोग अगर
करना तो
करें
पड़ता,
तो
but there are doctors who
there
are
are doctors
practicing.
who are practicing. You see, experience makes you perfect, whether you are in any field.
Any field.
Experience. See, today
Absolutely.
as a lecturer, what I am, I was not that when I said 1978, I stood in front of my class in Kamala Nehru College for the first time. I was not that. Today I am, after 40 years, जहाँ मैं हूँ तब नहीं थी. मुझे इतना मतलब काफी. I have grown, I have progressed, and today I don't need to prepare my lectures, perhaps. But at that time we used to slog to prepare lectures. So time लगता है
Ma'am,
preparation
which is
में.
why we have invited you all today. After this experience, you have achieved something, which is why you are here, a part of this panel, and we are discussing gender. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here and for interacting with us. Is there any question from the audience? Shivani.
Hi, Shoini ma'am. I hope you remember me. So I'm not advocating late marriage. I am also married and I have a kid. But I just have one question from everybody. What is the point of me being biologically fit and psychologically unfit if I'm married early and I'm not happy and satisfied, and so and also like years of conditioning has led us women also make us think कि हमें यार हमें काम करने दिया जा रहा है, हमें ये करने, अरे कौन है वो हमें देने वाले, वो देने वाले कौन है, देयर नोबडी टू गिव अस फ्रीडम. हम इतने कंडीशन हैं, ऐसा सोच रहे हैं हम कि उन्होंने हमको फ्रीडम दी है तो आज हम खुश हैं. वो कोई नहीं थे हमें फ्रीडम देने वाले. कल को हम भी तो खड़े होकर बोल सकते हैं कि हमने जी आपको फ्रीडम दी है बाहर जाके काम करने की, विदेशों में फॉरेन ट्रिप्स करने की, बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें करने की. जी बिल्कुल.
So, if I may just, you know, I know it's a bit of a, it's very rich to listen to, and don't mind if I'm sounding a little patronizing here. It's my job. I look at data. I look at national data. I look at local data. And I've been listening to a very rich experiences. But I do feel that, there's a lot of danger in generalizing based on one's own experiences. One's experiences are extremely real. And each of you are tremendous. Please don't misunderstand me when I say that you are wonderful, marvelous models. But we live in a world today where you are exceptions, where you may not even be 1% of the Indian population. You probably are 0.001%. We live in a world today where in Delhi only 10% of women of working age have any kind of job for which they get payment. And it is true that the number one is this primary school teacher, but who is number two? Because I didn't hear that person being mentioned as we were talking about the men in our lives who are enabling us to sit here and so on. I'm sorry, but the people who are making us sit here most of the time are the domestic workers who are cleaning, who are cooking, who are taking care, and unfortunately, I will say this here, for the worst pay. We give them the worst pay for doing this important work that liberates the rest of us. We are not having a gender revolution in our society. Some of us are privileged to have men who love us enough to respect us, to give us time. But the vast majority, and I'm sorry, we have all the data, so I don't want to bore you. You can come to my center, you can see all the data that shows how many hours, who spends doing what. And the fact is that these figures, and that's the biggest shock of all, that these figures have been getting worse, that our labor rates are going down, that fewer and fewer people are finding decent work, and that a vast majority of our people, women included, are doing work because they have to keep the family together. So when you say, don't mind me, but when you keep saying it's up to you, it's up to you. Yes, indeed, for that poor woman, it's up to her. But at what cost? And when you say age at marriage, I have done a whole book on the age at marriage issue. And we have had a slow rise at age at marriage. Why do you think Ambedkar named child marriage? And he meant when he said child marriage. Today it's come up to 17 or 18. So I'm fighting those who say you have to lift it to 21. That's a different point altogether. The women who are marrying at 30 are again 0.0001. How many women are able to not marry? How many women are able to even imagine in our society that I would like to have children, but I don't necessarily want to have a husband? Is there anybody? I think we still have a very long way to go. I mean, don't take anything away from what all your remarkable achievements, of all your stories are stories of heroism of the highest order. But that is not, we should not demand exceptionalism from ourselves in order to be able to get the achievements that we need. Okay, it should be possible tomorrow for someone to decide whether they marry or not, whether they wish to have children or not, whether they're in a marriage that they could walk out of it if in fact it is in a wrong kind of marriage. Yes. And there's very little of that still available now. And if there are women that, as a teacher and as a doctor, and you have enabled many, you have given maybe, a certain kind of, inspiration, it is very unique. Because a vast majority will not be receiving that inspiration, or many of them will be squashed even as they want to walk out, or they want to be different. So I think we have a ways to go here. So don't mind me when I disagree to the extent to which we really must pay more attention to the many for whom we have really not done the right thing. And most of them are women.
That's true. Yeah. So I would like to thank each and everyone here. Thank you for such a wonderful discussion, and it was definitely a very good discussion. Yeah, there's a question there. Yeah, please.
Hello. I have listened to the enlightened panelists. They have discussed their lives of the women in around them or in the society. What I feel is perhaps both men and women, both were responsible for the situation the women were yesterday and perhaps are today. As I said, as it is said, a woman cannot stand another woman. यानी स्त्री ही स्त्री की दुश्मन होती है. ये रहा है और शायद बहुत सी जगहों पे अभी भी होगा. Maybe in rural areas it is perhaps more, in cities, urban areas it is less. But what I intend to ask is, or rather say, put the question to everybody, do we have any strategy or is anything being done to accelerate the pace of this change? Perhaps because you have been, having experience of working with the power that be, whether it is possible to exploit this space?
Well, no, you see, there's a real contradiction, and I think that's very visible, that there are so many more today who would like to accelerate the change, but the conditions are not that conducive for that change. So many, far too many young women, including students that I teach, including students with MPhil and PhD degrees, are struggling against pressures of so vast a scale, including whether they can live in a certain part of Delhi on their own, including whether they can, or struggling with supporting parents. In fact, these are one of the most remarkable features of young women who support their parents in order to, and what you would think a son would be doing, many women are doing today. Over and over, I see so many women doing the kind of care that you expect the son to be doing, but under very adverse conditions. So this has been for us a shock. I have to say, for me, who spent a lifetime in women's studies now, looking at the data, looking at what we call decline. We're looking at declining child sex ratios. We're looking at declining work participation rates. We're looking at stagnant numbers of women, maybe slightly improving in our political, MLAs and MPs. That has been a terrible set of figures in India, 5%, 10%, yeah? Not much higher than that, and one of the lowest in the world. So there have been much, in fact, much of this was talked about there was a Towards Equality report that my predecessors were responsible for in 1974, which was for them a shock, because they said, oh, with independence and freedom, we'll do fine. And in fact, Veena Mazumdar, the founder director, said, I don't think feminism, we don't need feminism. We are daughters of independence. I have never experienced discrimination. And she was shocked by what she had to look at when she looked at the data. And that data has actually gotten worse for reasons we don't fully understand, actually. But what can be said is that there is more desire for change, there are more women unwilling. So frankly, if I may sound very idiosyncratic, if the divorce rates go up, it's a good thing. Because what we have seen in the past are any number of situations which were unbearable, but which were suffered. It's unhealthy to imagine 98% marriages and no divorces. That has been our data till very recently. That's very unhealthy. Don't get me wrong, it is unhealthy. So the change could happen, but it's not just up to, this is where I think that there's a tension here. I don't believe it's my own agency alone that can make change. It's collective, that's what we in women's movements know. It's collective, and there has to be some conditions that make change better. So we must look to policies that will genuinely make it more possible for women to have other choices, to have jobs that are not just out of necessity. Because what we have are jobs out of necessity, where the woman is hoping against hope that tomorrow the man will bring in enough money that I can sit back finally and just be at home. So many women in IT and many of these very, very media, where young people are to be found. But I ask you, think about the older ones. How long do they last? And what is it about those workplaces that make them sometimes feel that they might as well go home? So we are on the brink of a possible change, but structures also must come our way a little more than they are right now. That's my answer.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you everyone, and it was a wonderful discussion. We learned a lot, and I hope we are able to make world a better place soon. Thank you.